Today I'll be looking at the origin of ghosts. This is a very detailed topic, and there's a lot of information available on it. So what I'll be doing is a separate podcast dealing specifically with this, 10 episodes, so look out for that. The podcast name is Origin of Ghosts. But the science is what we'll be looking at now, and this is the science that's available on the origin of ghosts as we know it. The origin of ghosts encompasses the historical, cultural, and psychological frameworks that have shaped humanity's understanding of spectral entities across various societies. Ghosts are commonly perceived as the souls or spirits of deceased individuals or other non-human entities that are believed to manifest in the world of the living, serving as a reflection of deep-seated fears, beliefs, and existential questions regarding life after death. This concept has intrigued humanity for centuries, leading to a plethora of folklore, rituals, and narratives that explore the nature of existence beyond mortality. Throughout history, beliefs about ghosts have varied significantly among different cultures, with ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians and Greeks embedded the notion of spirits in their societal practices and rituals. For example, the ancient Egyptians viewed the afterlife as a realm where the souls of the deceased required offerings to ensure safe passage, while the Greeks held elaborate mourning rituals to appease spirits believed to linger near their burial sites. This interplay between cultural perspectives and ghostly phenomena highlights the ways in which societal views on death and afterlife have informed ghost narratives, demonstrating their integral role in shaping moral lessons and communal values throughout history. In contemporary times, the fascination with ghosts continues to thrive, influenced by media representations and the rise of ghost hunting as a popular pastime. Ghosts have transitioned from traditional folklore into modern interpretations that reflect current societal fears and anxieties, illustrating the dynamic nature of these narratives. Additionally, skepticism surrounding paranormal claims has intensified, leading to critical inquiries into the scientific and psychological explanations for ghostly encounters, which often emphasize cognitive biases and environmental factors as pivotal influences in shaping belief systems. As the understanding of ghosts evolves, the topic remains a compelling intersection of cultural identity, spiritual beliefs, and psychological inquiry, inviting both intrigue and skepticism from diverse audiences worldwide. Let's define ghosts. What is a ghost? Ghosts are generally understood to be the souls or spirits of deceased individuals or non-human entities that are believed to manifest in various forms to the living. This phenomenon has been a subject of fascination and speculation throughout human history, as different cultures have developed unique interpretations of what constitutes a ghost and its significance in the afterlife context. In folklore, descriptions of ghosts can vary dramatically, ranging from invisible presences to more tangible forms such as translucent apparitions or realistic imitations of the deceased. The term ghost encompasses a broad spectrum of entities, often including spirits, phantoms, and wraiths, each having specific cultural connotations. Many traditions view ghosts as restless spirits, while others perceive them as protective entities watching over the living. The belief in ghosts often correlates with the human inclination to understand life after death, suggesting that cultural narratives about ghosts can serve to address existential questions about mortality and the afterlife. Historically, ghosts were seen as an integral part of daily life, especially in pre-modern societies where death was a commonplace occurrence due to high mortality rates. In such contexts, protective measures against ghosts were common, including the use of amulets and spells. The interplay between societal views on death and the manifestation of ghosts reflects deep-rooted fears and reverence towards the deceased, often leading to practices aimed at honoring or appeasing these spirits. In literature and folklore, representation of ghosts have evolved significantly. For example, medieval ghost stories often depicted ghosts in symbolic forms, such as a crow or a glowing object, emphasizing their connection to the human experience and societal concerns of the time. Those evolving narratives reveal how ghost representations mirror broader cultural beliefs and societal anxieties, suggesting that the understanding of ghosts is not static, but rather dynamic, shaped by historical and cultural context. The belief in ghosts has a rich historical background, manifesting differently across various cultures and eras. In ancient civilizations such as Egypt, Greece, and Rome, the concept of the dead returning as spirits was deeply ingrained in societal practices and rituals. The ancient Egyptians held a profound belief in the afterlife, which significantly influenced their burial practices. They believed that the souls of the deceased would require offerings and items for their journey beyond death, as documented in the Egyptian Book of the Dead. These rituals aimed to appease the spirits and prevent them from haunting the living. The Egyptians viewed the soul and spirit as capable of interacting with the living world, potentially assisting or causing harm. In Greece by the 5th century BC, ghosts evolved into entities that could evoke both fear and reverence. The ancient Greeks believed that the spirit of a deceased person lingered near their burial site, which led to the avoidance of cemeteries by the living. Public mourning rituals and annual feasts were held to honor these spirits, with the intent of keeping them appeased to prevent hauntings. The playwright Aeschylus introduced one of the earliest fictional depictions of a ghost in his tragedy, Orestia, highlighting the cultural significance of these beliefs. Similar to the Greeks, the Romans also perceived ghosts as potential agents of vengeance. They believed that one could utilize a ghost to extract retribution by inscribing curses on lead or pottery and placing these items in graves. The interaction between the living and the dead was a fundamental aspect of Roman funerary customs, reinforcing the notion of ghosts as integral to their understanding of life and death. Across various cultures, the practice of ancestor worship is prevalent. Many societies, particularly in Africa and East Asia, emphasize maintaining a connection with the deceased ancestors through rituals and offerings to ensure their protection and guidance. In Japan, the concept of yurei, or ghost spirits, reflects similar beliefs, with those entities often representing souls who have died under tragic circumstances. Rituals like Obon serve to honor these spirits, ensuring their peace and preventing unresolved grievances from affecting the living. As beliefs surrounding ghosts evolved over time, they continued to influence literature, art, and cultural practices, illustrating humanity's enduring fascination with the supernatural and the afterlife. Ghosts and spirits have been a pervasive element in the folklore and mythology of cultures worldwide. These narratives serve not only as entertainment, but also as vehicles for moral lessons, cultural values, and communal fears. The Oxford English Dictionary defines folklore as the traditional beliefs, customs, and stories of a community passed through the generations by word of mouth. This oral tradition has enabled ghost stories to evolve, reflecting the societal beliefs and anxieties of different eras. Tales of vengeful spirits can be found across the globe, often embodying societal fears or cultural norms. For instance, La Llorona, or the Weeping Woman, is a notable figure in Latin American folklore, representing themes of loss and betrayal. Similarly, Japan's yurei, spirits of the dead who have not found peace, highlight the cultural importance of proper mourning practices and respect for ancestors. In African traditions, spirits like the Yoruba Egungun exemplify the reverence for ancestors and the belief in their continued presence and influence in the living community. Historically, ghost stories were influenced by religious beliefs. In medieval Europe, they often represented souls in purgatory, seeking redemption or delivering warnings to the living. This perspective underscores the societal need to address mortality and the afterlife, shaping narratives that resonate with human fears and aspirations. The narrative of ghosts has transformed over time, shifting from oral traditions to written literature. Works such as Shakespeare's Hamlet incorporate ghostly figures to explore themes of death and the supernatural, reflecting the cultural context of their time. Modern adaptations of folklore often reinterpret these themes, integrating contemporary fears and social issues, showcasing the adaptability of ghost narratives in various forms of storytelling, including literature, film, and urban legends. In contemporary society, ghost stories have expanded beyond traditional folklore into modern folklore, encompassing a diverse range of narratives, including urban legends and internet memes. Stories like The Vanishing Hitchhiker highlight fears about trust and the unknown in a rapidly changing world. These modern tales often resonate with a sense of shared cultural identity while simultaneously adapting to the context of contemporary life. Ghosts remain a universal element of human storytelling, serving as symbols of the unknown and the human experience, rooted deeply in the rich soil of folklore and mythology across cultures. Theories surrounding the existence of ghosts and spirits vary widely, encompassing a blend of cultural beliefs, psychological explanations, and scientific inquiries. Throughout history, various cultures have proposed different understandings of ghosts. Many ancient societies, including the Egyptians, believed that the soul continued to exist after death, maintaining a connection to the physical world and influencing the living. These beliefs often manifest in practices such as ancestor worship, prevalent in Middle Eastern cultures, where spirits are revered and thought to offer guidance and protection to their descendants. Such cultural interpretations shape how individuals perceive ghostly encounters, with some viewing them as benevolent guardians, while others consider them restless or vengeful spirits. In modern times, scientific scrutiny of ghost phenomena has led to the establishment of parapsychology, which aims to investigate supernatural occurrences termed parapsychology, parapsychological phenomena. Despite skepticism about the existence of ghosts, some researchers have explored potential explanations for ghostly encounters through various scientific lenses. For instance, changes in electromagnetic fields (EMFs) and geomagnetic fluctuations have been speculated to induce sensations interpreted as ghostly presences, with some studies linking high EMF exposure to feelings of unease or paranoia. Additionally, infrasound, sound frequencies below human hearing, has been implicated in causing feelings of anxiety and perceptions of a haunting atmosphere, contributing to the interpretation of ghostly experiences. From a psychological standpoint, various theories suggest that many ghostly encounters can be attributed to cognitive biases, suggestibility, and environmental influences. Factors such as pareidolia, where individuals misrepresent stimuli to perceive familiar patterns or figures, and sleep paralysis, which can result in vivid hallucinations, are common explanations for reported ghost sightings. The human mind's tendency to attribute meaning to ambiguous experiences often leads to the perception of paranormal activity, particularly when individuals are in heightened emotional states or vulnerable situations. Skepticism plays a crucial role in the investigation of ghostly phenomena, encouraging a rigorous approach to examining claims of the supernatural. Critical thinking helps distinguish between anecdotal evidence and scientifically validated explanations, fostering objective investigations that seek natural causes for reported ghostly experiences. This method often reveals that many purported hauntings can be traced back to psychological and environmental factors rather than paranormal forces, emphasizing the complexity of the human experience in experiencing the unknown. What about culture? Of course, culture would impact the way that we think about ghosts and ghostly experiences. So let's look at diverse cultural perspectives and diverse beliefs and traditions on this topic of ghosts. Cultural perspectives on the paranormal illustrate a rich tapestry of human belief and experience, with variations in ghostly traditions across the globe. In Africa, for instance, ancestral spirits are deeply integrated into societal values and fears, serving as guiding forces within communities. In Oceania, the Maori of New Zealand recognized the influence of ancestral spirits known as Warua, who are believed to offer protection and guidance. The traditional Haka dance is performed to invoke these spirits, underscoring their significance in Maori culture. Similarly, Aboriginal cultures in Australia revere the concept of dream time, a sacred era when ancestral beings shape the world. These spirits are thought to persist in the natural landscape, and ceremonies are held to honor them, preserving a vital connection to their shared history. In North America, indigenous beliefs feature prominently, with the Navajo people's concept of skinwalkers reflecting a blend of fear and respect for the supernatural. Latin American cultures are also rich in paranormal beliefs, as seen in Mexico's Dia de los Muertos, where the spirits of the deceased are celebrated and welcomed back to the living realm through vibrant festivities and altars. Ghost stories serve as cultural mirrors, reflecting the values, fears, and societal issues of their times. During the Victorian era, for instance, an explosion of ghost stories emerged, often tied to themes of moral lessons, family drama, and societal taboos. The ghostly figures in these narratives often symbolize unresolved issues, redemption, or punishment for transgressions, allowing writers to explore the tension between faith and reason, as seen in works like Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. Moreover, ghost stories can provide a voice for marginalized groups, preserving their experiences and struggles in a way that historical records often overlook. These tales highlight the injustices faced by women, immigrants, and laborers, allowing their stories to resonate across generations despite the absence of formal documentation. The representation of ghosts has evolved significantly in popular culture, particularly with the rise of mass media. In the 20th century, characters like Casper the Friendly Ghost emerged, depicting a more child-friendly image of the supernatural. The shift allowed for a broader exploration of ghost narratives across genres, with films like Ghostbusters in 1984 popularizing ghost hunting as a mainstream subject. Additionally, the romanticization of ghosts in cinema became prevalent, with films portraying them as benign guides with unfinished business, such as in Field of Dreams and Ghost, 1989 and 1990 respectively. Conversely, horror genres delve into more sinister interpretations, merging ghostly themes with violence, as evidenced in A Nightmare on Elm Street and other notable films from the 1980s and 1990s. Contemporary beliefs about ghosts are influenced by various factors, including cultural, social, and psychological dynamics. These beliefs are often considered deviant from mainstream societal views, particularly those rooted in traditional religions and established scientific paradigms. Colin Campbell describes this environment as a cultic milieu, where individuals seek and validate unconventional knowledge, often feeling the need to justify their beliefs against the skepticism of the dominant culture. The fascination with ghosts has manifested in popular culture significantly through the rise of ghost hunting as a hobby and a media genre. Initiated by films like the 1984 comedy Ghostbusters, ghost hunting has inspired the creation of societies dedicated to exploring reportedly haunted locations. This theme has extended to numerous reality television series such as Ghost Adventures and Most Haunted, and has even found representation in children's programming like The Ghost Hunter and Ghost Trackers. Such media not only popularize ghost hunting, but also produce various guidebooks and manuals that offer methods for amateur ghost hunters. Psychologically, times of uncertainty often lead to an increase in paranormal beliefs as people search for ways to make sense of their surroundings. This was notably evident during the COVID-19 pandemic, when consumption of ghostly content surged as individuals sought comfort and explanations for their anxieties. Additionally, these beliefs might have evolutionary roots. Humans may have developed a propensity for supernatural explanations as a means of coping with real-world threats. Spiritualism, which posits that spirits of the dead can communicate with the living through mediums, became a prominent belief system in the 19th and early 20th centuries, especially in the United States and Europe. This movement flourished without formal organization for decades, relying instead on periodicals and public demonstrations. By the late 1880s, however, accusations of fraud diminished its credibility, leading to the establishment of formal spiritualist organizations. Similarly, Spiritism, particularly prevalent in Brazil, has roots in the writings of Allan Kardec, who reported on seances and the phenomena associated with spirit communication. Despite the prevalence of ghost beliefs, many investigators advocate for skepticism and critical thinking in evaluating paranormal claims. By applying rational inquiry, it is possible to separate factual evidence from superstition, thus contributing to a more grounded understanding of reported hauntings. The tools used by ghost hunters, such as spirit photography and various measuring devices, often lack scientific validation, leading to ambiguous findings that can be misinterpreted as paranormal activity. In essence, while contemporary beliefs about ghosts are rich and varied, they often invite scrutiny and debate, both within cultural and scientific contexts. The study of ghosts and paranormal phenomena has long been met with skepticism and critical inquiry, leading to various criticisms and controversies within both academic and public domains. Skepticism plays a crucial role in the examination of ghostly claims. Investigators are often cautioned to maintain an open but critical mindset, aiming to avoid biases such as confirmation bias, which leads individuals to favor information that aligns with their existing beliefs while dismissing contradictory evidence. Rigorous evidence is demanded in ghost investigations, which necessitates the use of scientific methods, controlled experiments, and objective analysis to validate claims of hauntings. The reliance on anecdotal evidence, a common feature in reports of ghost encounters, is frequently challenged, with skeptics urging a quest for corroborating evidence. Ghost stories are reflective of societal values and fears, often serving as moral lessons or cautionary tales. This cultural context adds complexity to the investigation of ghostly phenomena, as they can be viewed as artifacts of social and psychological constructs rather than as manifestations of the supernatural. Critics argue that ghost beliefs may stem from cultural narratives and collective experiences rather than objective realities. For instance, ghost stories from the Victorian era encapsulate societal tensions regarding morality, unresolved familial issues, and the afterlife, indicating that these narratives are intertwined with human experiences and historical context. Despite the popularity of ghost hunting and paranormal beliefs, the scientific community often regards such practices with skepticism, viewing them as largely unsubstantiated and influenced by social phenomena. Research indicates that beliefs in ghosts and the practice of ghost hunting are especially prevalent among younger generations who may engage with these ideas through both scientific and supernatural lenses. Critics of paranormal investigations argue that these beliefs can be seen as deviant from mainstream cultural norms, creating a cultic milieu where believers support one another against the skepticism of traditional scientific and religious frameworks. The tendency of individuals to conform to group beliefs can lead to cognitive biases that reinforce ghostly claims. The availability cascade phenomenon describes how repeated exposure to certain ideas can bolster individuals' confidence in their validity, even in the absence of strong evidence. Furthermore, group polarization can occur where discussions within like-minded groups strengthens shared beliefs, making it more challenging for critical perspectives to emerge. What are your thoughts? Do you believe in ghosts?